Hey, it's Natalie again. I'm sorry I haven't done a video in a long time. We've had a ton of new energy coming in, so we're all kind of, like taking it on and processing it so fast. It gets kind of heavy and kind of wears you out. But we've all had amazing breakthroughs lately. And I'm going to share with you one of the ones that I really think is going to help a lot of you. So the way that this started, the way this started was a twin projection. So I sort of talked about it in relation to the relationship video, but I didn't finish it. So there's the twin flame or the twin mirror is everybody's a projection of us. Everybody's a mirror. But the twin flame is more of, it shows you both your good and your bad aspects. So it will show you how like amazing you are, or gifted, or beautiful, and all those things. But then it also shows you some of the things that you've been missing. So I attracted a twin mirror. I like to call it a mirror versus a flame, because they're not always like the relationships that most people think like the one you want to be the rest of your life with. You know, sometimes they come in all forms, all shapes, all sizes. I've attracted it in old, young, big, little, black, white, male, female. But this one happened to be in a gay projection, so they were gay. So I kind of made a joke about not being sexually available, because I was like, I'm married, you're gay. Does this mean we're not sexually available? Because you'll project what's going on inside of you, because it's like this mirror. Anyways, we're not going to go too much into it. But what also displayed with it is because we are drawn to what attracts us, okay? And because males are very males are very, what's the word? One-track mind. He was projected towards his attraction. And because I'm drawn to spiritual awareness, I had a dream about him 2 months ago, and I had several dreams, and so my projection goes there because I'm a spiritual Olympian. So, and that's kind of what the dream showed me, is that there was always water involved, and I was getting ready for the spiritual Olympics, and he volunteered to go on this journey with me as my mirror to teach me some things. Well, interesting enough, as my energy was projecting towards him, and he was distracted because he was looking, another male came into his life and he was projected there. I had a female come along and she projected into me her twin. And so she was feeding me she was cheering me on and being my cheerleader as I was cheering him on, but the attraction was linear versus where a typical twin would be magnetically attracted to each other. And so a lot of people in their relationships, they always talk about liking someone who's not attracted to them. You know, you always like the one that's not, the one that doesn't like you back. Yeah, it was kind of like that, but it was a mirror. It was a mirror twin. So it was about learning about something within me. So like I said, I thought I was sexually unavailable, which makes sense. I'm married, so that could be a typical thing. But what ended up coming about, which was pretty fascinating, was it had nothing to do about sexuality. It had to be emotionally. I was emotionally unavailable. And that is not something that I would even think of. It was because I'm one of the most loving and giving people. I'm always helping other people. I'm constantly giving my time free. I'm always getting heart-to-hearts with people. It's not something that I even would think of, and so it took a mirror projection of me because he was not emotionally available for me. It was able to teach me this, because when I started getting irritated because I went to see him, but he didn't really communicate with me, and he, which again is another reflection of me. I have a hard time because I'm so one-track mind. I sometimes don't get back to people. Anyways, so it was that he wasn't available to me, but this girl was. And so she was projecting into me everything that I was projecting into him instead of him being able to return it to me. And so it was an interesting dynamic. So I am emotionally available, but I'm not emotionally available. Does that make sense? I'm emotionally available because I'm attracted to crisis. And we're going to talk about something I just discovered that I think most of us deal with, but we never even recognized it, okay? So I discovered I am emotionally unavailable. Not all the time. I'm available to those that are in crisis, that are those that are in need, that those serve my purpose. Yes, I learned I am a spiritual Olympian, so I am constantly seeking higher and spiritual truths. And if I have a dream about someone, or I know that there's a spiritual reason for me to contact them, I am all theirs. I am emotionally everything in. I bet the whole game. But if someone does not serve my higher purpose, or I've been out, taking care of people's emotional needs, in the community, and I do a lot of healings a day. I come home and guess what happens? I shut down because I've been overstimulated, okay? Because I get a dopamine high from helping other people. So doing service, a lot of people get that sex high, they go and get a new partner and then they have sex, and then or they take a drug high or a food high or a new movie high or a new partner or a new spiritual exciting journey, or it can be a creative idea like reading a book or writing a book, or we are constantly seeking those highs, okay? We all have our outs, watching a series, getting involved. We're all seeking those highs, those dopamine highs. And the reason why we do this is because we are emotionally unavailable. And so we're not getting the oxytocin highs, where oxytocin is a hormone that you after a birth, if a mom will hold the baby. Instead of being detached, in the hospital, they got the ups, the highs and lows. That's a lot of dopamine. Oxytocin is more of it's like a continuous hormone. And so, when we crave the oxytocin, and it comes into our brain, and if you have a lot of thoughts of someone, you'll create the oxytocin, and that's why being in love is a drug. But when you have the dopamine going with it, because your what happens is if you're in a crisis, so my daughter died, and this is when my daughter died, the oxytocin gets cut off. And so then because I am in survival mode, trying to save her, I get this amazing high from helping people now. Because that was my idea of love, because I shut off that oxytocin. And so, interesting enough, in a mirror reflection, a friend called me when I was going through this, and she's like, I'm depressed. I'm not, she's like, I feel empty. I'm not happy in my job anymore, because she's a workaholic, like I am a workaholic, because we're trying to feed that high again. So, she's like, I feel empty inside, and I feel like the world's collapsing around me. And this is a feeling I get a lot. I'm very open, receptive, but if I'm home and my kids are screaming at me, and that's what mom's got to understand, is we constantly are taking care of everyone else. And if we don't take time for ourselves, then we're going to shut down. Our heart chakra is going to shut down, and we're going to close off. And so that's what it dawned on me what she was experiencing is she is emotionally unavailable. And interesting enough, she's had several crises in her life. Her little girl almost died. She ended up with breast cancer. And so what happens is we shut down emotionally, and then it's like there's nothing inside because we feel disconnected. And so, again, it's all it is becoming, we're just unavailable, emotionally unavailable. In a lot of relationships, if someone attracts someone who's emotionally unavailable, the best advice is to leave that person. There really isn't. They don't really talk about how to heal the other person. They just call them narcissistic and to leave the person. We aren't narcissistic, okay? We're very loving and very giving, but we live in we crave high stress jobs like midwifery or being, they're usually your daredevils. I know a couple that are in the Army. A lot of military become this way. Where we learn this behavior from is either a crisis happens, or as a child, we didn't get what we received. Our mom was always busy. And so we never got her attention unless what? We cried, we screamed, we were in crisis. And so then we learned that that's how you get what you need. That's how you get love, is to be in crisis. Or when mom takes you out and you get to spend one-on-one time, so then we get a high off always going places and doing things because that means we get attention. And so we spend our whole lives getting antsy if we don't get to go somewhere, or we don't have a new relationship, or something isn't changing because we don't feel connected to ourselves because that heart chakra shut down. So what I'm going to do is teach you a couple techniques, okay, to help you shift this emotion. Now, it was kind of interesting because when I realized this, I was driving home with my family, and my husband turns on the country music, and he starts like blaring it out, and and it was like, oh my freaking gosh, stop. And my kids were screaming, and I'm driving, and I'm like, holy crap. And I'm trying to project, try to figure out, why am I attracting this? What is inside of me that would attract a gay twin here and another girl here? And then it was like, oh my gosh, I am not available. I am emotionally not available. And the way that he was screaming and my kids were screaming, and I am like, all this pain starts coming in, and I feel like the world's collapsing around me, and my heart hurts. And it's this feeling I've had for years. Every once in a while I get it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm emotionally not available. And so by just recognizing that, and I started tapping EFT. It's a great mechanism to start tapping through. They have big long things that you can say. I'm going to keep it real simple. But I just started tapping. I am emotionally available. 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 Now, I am statements are amazing. They're very, very powerful. So whatever you want to be, state it. I am whatever. I am beautiful. I am good. I am happy. I am wealthy. Whatever it is, I am financially successful. Whatever it is you want, you can tap those I am statements right into your system, and it helps reverse those belief systems. But what happened when I did this is my whole heart chakra was like whoosh. And I suddenly was like, oh my gosh. I could be present for my family. I could be there for them. I wasn't feeling like I was so stressed, or had a million things to do, or I had to get on my phone, or I had to find the next high, or fix the next person's problems. I was completely okay. But it was beautiful. And then the next day, it was really beautiful. My daughter was like, Mom, wow, it's so nice to feel your energy. And I'm like, I know, right? She's like, you're always helping somebody else, but it's so nice now that you're here for me. And so, it was great, but towards the end of the night, I started feeling it again. It started getting tight, and I think the universe this is making it extra obvious for me, so that I could understand the difference of what it feels like to have it, and then when it's not. So now I recognize, oh, my heart chakra is shutting off again. Again, my daughter died, and so when she died, and I spent 2 years taking care of her, my heart chakra like literally cut out human connection. My oxytocin got shut off, okay? So now, and that's when my relationship with my husband went bad. Just so you know, I think this is why a lot of relationships fail, is when this oxytocin gets closed off, then we're on the dopamine high. So I am learning to open it back up. And it's been amazing, because when it started closing off, I could feel. And when I was starting to think I need to go do something, I'm like, no, now we're just going to open you back up. And so right now I'm in the Advil stage. Every time you take an Advil, it gets rid of a headache for that moment, but it's not going to fix all your headaches. So what I'm trying to do is find a way to teach you guys how to do this and keep your heart chakras open. I went and tapped it in, and then I just cuddled with my husband, because oxytocin is created by cuddling and kissing and loving, those kind of things, and I just smell in his cologne and just listen to his heartbeat, and that really, really helped. And then again today, when it started closing off again, I had to reground, and my kids were screaming at me and needing me constantly, and I was just like, okay, babe, I gotta take 5 minutes. I just gotta take 5 minutes. And I had all these things that I wanted to do and create. My kids wouldn't let me, and I was like so frustrated. So as moms, we really do have to take time for ourselves. And it's really, really hard when we got little itty bitties. But if you don't, I noticed my heart chakra started whoosh. And so I think that's why a lot of times parents get really angry and frustrated at their kids. And all these parents in the world that you see that like beat their children, or you can tell that they resent their children. It's because their heart chakras are closed off. They are not emotionally available for their children right now, because they are not emotionally taken care of inside themselves. It's very hard to take care of another child when your own inner child wasn't taken care of. There was nobody there to support you, so now you can't support your child. So by learning how to open up that chakra, I was able to have the most beautiful conversation with my daughter tonight, because I was open and I was conscious and I was in the moment with her, and I wasn't being pulled by this cord to pursue my purpose, because I do have a purpose, and I have all these things that I do want to complete in my life, and I thought that if I didn't do them right then, I wasn't going to be able to complete my task, because I know that I'm on a time constraint. My DNA tells me, every cell in my body knows this, but I'm missing so much of the beauty around me sometimes, because I close off to the people that are most important to me, and that's my kids, and that's my family. And it's not because I'm a bad mom or a bad parent. We all do this. We all do this in some form, because we're chasing that high. So another technique I want to show you is if emotion and that feeling comes up, you can heal. Hold your hand here for 1 minute, here for 1 minute, here for 1 minute, here for 1 minute, and repeat it 3 times. I've taught you guys this before, and you just ask where that feeling comes from. If you know how to do neurologistic programming, you're going to ask that little girl or boy how old they are. You're going to ask them when this happened. Mine, I asked the first time I started shutting off was when I was 7, because my mom married into a new polygamous family, and she didn't have time for me anymore. And so that was the first time the energy pulled up, was when I was 7. So you just ask it. You're there for it. You do this, 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 and this 3 times, and you be there for that little girl, that little boy, and you integrate them into your system. And then you're going to tap. You're going to tap here. You can get a map on EFT. Look it up. You can get a map, but it's I showed you, but I keep being told to do this back here too. I don't know why. It's not on the map, but they keep telling me to do back here too. My guides do. Anyways, so I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you become more compassionate and to start recognizing what that feeling, that crippling feeling inside your heart, what that is. It's just your heart chakra trying to open up. That's it. And once you open that up, it's like, whoa, It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And I never in a million years thought I would be somebody who shut off, but I was. And how I can prove it is my projection was not working. So, and that's the great thing about a twin flame or a twin mirror, is they'll teach you what's out of alignment. And so now that I have healed that, and I continue to heal that, I will be able to be more in alignment for my next journey. So anyways, I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to talking to you guys later. Bye bye.